Okay, so what I want you to do is you're going to bring your knee up. This is also, hold it there. Bring it up. Hold it there. Bring it up. Hold it.
Oh.
Bring it up. Hold it. Don't move it. Don't move it. Don't move it. Okay?
You need a 4 at the bottom.
I have the same problem. This is the same
Do it
way.
again. I want to check the other side. Let's check this one out. You can hold on, he can hold on to the plinth, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You can hold on if you want to. Right up here in the front, hold on to it if you want. Bring your knee up. Hold it there. Don't move it. Hold it. Okay, that's better. Let's try the side again. Bring it up. Hold it. That's better. All right, that's better. Okay. Now I'm going to have you lay on your side. I have your pen. I'm not stealing it.
That was too easy to give me yesterday.
That was function.
Right?
What did you do? Okay.
After we redid it, I'm going to give him a 5. Okay, I need you to get rid of your arm there and just lay comfortably. There you go. And I'm right back here. You're not going to fall. With this leg that's underneath, I want you to grab it and pull it up as far as you can. Yeah, and you can hold on to it if you want to maintain that. What are we looking at?
Hip flex.
Hip flexion. Okay, so for flexion, what would our start position be? Excellent. Okay, so we're going to come down like this. Does his leg stay straight or does it matter?
It's down.
The knee is flat.
Put you right here. What I want you to do is now bring your knee up this way.
We're doing hip flexion, right?
Uh-huh. There you go.
That's right.
So all I'm doing is taking gravity away. We're starting in extension.
Like that.
Yeah, he's doing the movement. He's bringing it up. All I'm doing is supporting it. Okay? Can I rock your world for a second? If we start in this position, now straighten your hip. What am I testing?
Extension.
Extension.
Yeah, all right, so we just did it. All good? See it? Okay, awesome. So hip extension against gravity. Is that what's next?
No, there's one in between, believe it or
Okay, well,
not.
let's go ahead and do hip extension since we're here. I'm going to have you lay on your stomach for hip extension. Lay on your stomach.
Flexion, extension. Yes. Now we're doing regular extensions.
No, yeah.
Come on, let's do it this way. This will be easier. I'm going to have you stand up. And I'm going to have you bring this.
You didn't share that song.
Come down here, and you're just going to hold on to
Maybe
the
we told
table.
it so.
Okay?
With the pillow underneath the
Yes, I do.
That's why we all fail.
Okay.
It's your fault.
That was my fault.
So, for hip extension, what I want you to do is, with this side, I want you to keep your knee straight, but I want you to lift your heel up to the ceiling. There you go. Hip extension, right?
Oh, be careful.
Oh, no. Insert that guy.
Not yet.
That guy?
It's a little.
There we go.
Do it one more time. Bring it
No
up.
children for that guy.
Right there. Hold it. Don't let me push you back. Hold it. Hold it there. Don't let me push it. Hold it. Hold it. Right above the knee. Good. Okay, so that's against gravity. I could also do it laying down on the plinth, but that's the method I prefer for that. Okay. So that was that.
Now we're going to.
Now we're going to go back to the sartorius, which is hip flexion, abduction, external rotation with knee flexion. Okay. So for this one, I'm going to lower the table and then come lay on your back. So we'll use that for you. And then we do them all in flexion, abduction, and external rotation?
Yes.
Okay, so
with
this is what-
inflection.
Excellent. So what I want you to do is that movement. You're going to bend it up and bring your leg out. And then I'm going to try to push you back in and down. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that. Bring your leg up and out. Hold it there. Don't let me push it. Don't let me. Good.
So,
What is it?
so there's tricks to that.
So how do we have this doing kind of stabilizing?
Yeah, because how do you, because you're using,
What does it say to stabilize? I kind of feel like I am.
Well, you know, this is the way it's done.
Okay. I feel like I'm
Well, it
also,
says stabilizes the pelvis at the ipsilateral really across.
so I could make sure that.
And he can grab the edge of the plinth.
But that's if he's sitting.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm not- So I'm just assuming, but with this hand, not that you have to do this, if it doesn't say to do that, but I see that I'm kind of guiding him so that I know he knows the movement I'm looking for too. But I wouldn't call that a stabilization. I would just say I want to make sure that I'm testing the right muscle. So for this one, we will test 0 through 5 in this plane. Okay? So although he's bringing it up and bringing it out, he's fighting gravity. So to make it a 2, what would we do if we're in this?
You're gonna hold the back.
I'm going to hold his leg, right? And I want you to do that same thing, and I'm just taking gravity away. Bring your leg up and out. Awesome. And then back down. So all I'm doing is eliminating gravity for him to do that. Do hip extension and gravity eliminated. And next we have hip abduction. Yeah, I'll say, is there an alternate test? Yeah. So hip abduction. This one, I'm going to have you lay on your side again. Look at them. What is this? Abduction? Abduction. Okay, so with this bottom leg, you're going to bring it up. And then hip abduction. So for this, I want him to keep his knee straight. Is that right?
Yes.
And then what you're going to do is just bring your leg up, and I'm going to try to push you back down. Okay. So I want you to bring your heel or your ankle up to, hold it there. Don't let me push it down. Now, he's got a little bit of a substitution going on. He's trying to flex it as well. So just straight up like that, just right there. Hold it there. Don't let me push it down. Good. Relax. So to eliminate gravity, we're going to have him lay on his back. Awesome. 300. You're going to lay on your back. And it's abduction. So I could just have him keep his leg in neutral and bring it out like that on the plinth, or I can support it as he brings it out, because either way we're eliminating gravity, right? If this was longer, that would make more sense, but I'm going to support your leg, and I want you to bring it out toward me. Awesome. There you go. Gravity eliminated. Abduction.
what is it? It's the same movement as when you measure.
Right, it's abduction. Okay. The next one is hip abduction and hip flexion. So we're looking at my favorite muscle, the tensor fascia latae. And so we're going to have you lay, you're going to lay on your side again and face them. Grab that leg that's underneath again, bring that one up. And so now, this is what he was trying to do before. Have you, I know you're so cozy. I'm going to have you bring this arm. Can you bring that arm kind of down a little? This guy. And still be cozy?
Only if it, yeah.
Does that work?
Under-
Or relax. Just there. Relax. Okay? All right. And so what we're looking at is hip flexion and abduction. So we want his hip to start, and right now he's already there. Keep your knee straight. We're going to start with his hip slightly flexed, and then he is going to abduct and flex at the same time. See that? Not bending here. Relax for a second. So you're just kind of coming up like that. So you do it again. So as I apply resistance, what direction am I applying resistance?
This way.
Which way? What way is that?
Down and out.
So
Going
if he's
back.
coming up to flexion and abduction,
So push you
I'm
that
trying to
abduction.
adduct and extend it, right? Okay, so bring it up, keep your knee straight. There you go. Hold it there, don't let me push it back down. Okay, so I'm going adduction and extension. So to take gravity away, I'm gonna have you lay on your back. Again, our start position, his hip is gonna be in slight flexion, and I think it says maybe 20 degrees of flexion. So we're going to start like this, and then the movement is, you're going to come up and out like that. Ready? Okay. Good. Okay. You guys good? The next one is called the Trendelenburg. When you think back to when we did the scapula, remember we had a clinical test. We had the person come over here to the wall, had him push away. Do you remember what we were testing?
The serratus anterior.
Absolutely. We were testing the serratus anterior. And what were we testing with the serratus anterior?
It was full, no, strong or weak.
Excellent. So we were just testing to see if it was strong or weak. So now we're going to do that with the hip abductors. We're going to see if they're strong or if they're weak. So I'm going to have you stand up. Turn around, face the blend.
I know.
You're just going to put just your fingertips on it, just kind of for balance. All right, so I need to find the ASIS. PSIS, I'm sorry, PSIS. So I'm back here at the PSIS. Remember we found that is by the dimples here. So we have the PSIS, and what I'm going to have you do is I want you to lift this hip up off the floor. Okay. Lift it up. Okay. As he lifts that up, look what's happening with my thumbs. Lift it up again. Can you lift it up and hold it up? You see what's happening? We start off like this. As he lifts it, it comes up, and that's an indicator that he may have some weak abductors, okay? So that's a positive Trendelenburg sign. Let's check the other side. Do this side around. So put it in slightly. I would say the same on this side. If he were to lift his hip up and they stay even, that would be a negative Trendelenburg sign, meaning there isn't any weakness there. But you've got a little weakness at your
Can we do somebody else and see?
What strong is?
Oh, let's do, yeah, let's do elbow.
Okay.
I just want to see.
But isn't that, there was another one?
Is it still filming?
No,
You want me to turn it on?
So same thing. You're not really moving, you're just kind of using it for balance, just in case. you
Okay, so
need it.
is he going to lift his foot off the ground?
Turn like that on this side.
See this one, up to level
Do
two?
it again. Do it one, lift it up and hold it up. He's lifting it, it's staying even. Bring it back down to the other side. It's still staying even. See, with Alfred, or I do it.
Ingram.
I do it every time. Ingram, it was significant. Really not. Do it again on this side. Yeah, you're right. Use them on that side. This side, there's nothing. Do it on this side. This side, there isn't anything. You might have some weakness on this side.
It's a strong thing.
Sorry.
So it's an abductor weakness?
So there, and it says clinical test, weakness of the abductor mechanism. It's called a Trendelenburg test. You're
So it's
testing
documented as positive?
positive or negative, correct?
Okay, so they would be positive?
Just on his right hip, he would be positive, on the left hip, he would be negative.
And he was positive on that.
So we had to, we're gonna do an alternate way to do this. We're gonna
Thumbs raised. Pretty sure you're positive? Renee,
Yeah, I'm gonna have you lay on your back, this next one. So
And
this,
how hard were you pushing on it? Or-
I'm not pushing
You're
on
just,
it.
just actually
Yeah,
just
I'm just,
setting them?
yeah, I'm not pushing. Okay, so hip adduction. There's a picture in your book And Troy's laying there, and he's holding onto the table, and he's got to lift that lower leg. We're going to do an alternate test, which is in that first paragraph. It says, alternatively, the hip adductors may be tested with the patient supine, and the therapist offers resistance to the hip adduction equal to the weight of the limb, resemble the against gravity situation. So we're going to do all of these for hip adduction in the supine position. The movement, the hip is adducted until the test limb contacts. What's their start position? Although I'm telling you, your start position is going to be in abduction. So we're going to start out here to test the adductors. And so what I'd like you to do is bring your knee in towards your other knee. Okay. Hold it there. Don't let it pull it out. Hold it. Good. Okay. So that would be the 5/5. 4/5 is moderate resistance. 3/5 is, again, I want you to just bring your leg in. He's bringing it in. He's not touching the table. The 2/5 is I'm taking gravity away. 1 is we're palpating. 0, there's nothing going on. Okay. Then we have, since he's in this position, can I rock your world again?
Try it.
Try it? I'm going to try it. We're going to look at internal and external rotation, gravity eliminated. So we're going to come up like this for internal rotation. Is that right? Okay, so I'm going to start in external rotation. I want you to just bring your leg out toward me. Okay, gravity eliminated. If I'm looking at external rotation, I'm going to start like this. And I want you to bring your leg in. It's bringing it in. See that? It's magical. Magical. And have you sit up on the side?
Why am I backwards?
Why are you backwards? Lay back down.
Sorry.
No.
When you started at external and went to internal, I called it external.
Relax, relax, relax. There you go.
You started in external.
Okay? So if I start in external rotation, I'm always starting the opposite of what I'm testing when I'm looking at the muscles. Only the muscles, right?
Yeah.
So we have to start in,
Internal to get external.
okay?
Yeah,
Okay?
I thought you went the other way. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so we'll start here, and then I want you to bring your leg in.
Okay, so it's internal. Okay.
That's it.
This is external. I'm starting in internal. He's coming external.
The hip, not the leg. Don't look at his leg.
Look at the hip.
Forget it. Rewind. We're going to do it against gravity first because it'll make more sense. Sit back up. Forget it.
Obviously, she can't rock no more. I'm
No,
sorry.
forget I did that. Forget it. No, come this way. Just leave 1 foot on there. Okay, there you go. Move over there. All right. I need to towel on that. Need towel? Always need. All right. Okay. So if I'm looking at, what am I looking at? Internal or external?
External.
External rotation.
Yeah, so you're turning it out.
If I turn it out, what's happening at the hip?
The hip's going internal.
Mhm.
Got it.
Bingo. Okay. If I go that way, what's happening? So go ahead and read that to me. What is my start position? Does he start in neutral? Does he start like this?
Well, it's supine.
Does he neutral?
It
It does?
Like
Okay.
hip flexion, neutral,
Okay.
rotation, knee flexion.
Okay, so this is our start position, and then what do I want him to do? Are we doing internal or external? We're doing internal?
Let's do internal first and then external.
Okay, so we're doing internal first. So what I'd like you to do is bring your leg out toward me. Hold it there, don't let me push it in. Whoops. Hold it there, don't let me move it in. Good. So I'm stabilizing here, the other is, he may have some ipsilateral trunk stuff going on. And I could be right here, just to make sure. Okay, bring it out. Hold it there, don't let me push it out. Good. Now this time, can you bring it in? Hold it there, don't let me push it back out. Which is external, okay? Do we need to go back and do the laying down one? Okay. tells me we got to the end of the hip. Do you all want to practice those before we move to